Hi there, it's Marita with Harmonic Wholeness. How are you today? Say, I have a part three in my little sharing on meditation. If you recall back, oh my, it's been at least, time goes so quickly, doesn't it? It's been at least 3 weeks, if not, well, probably 4 weeks, if not longer, where I really I was like, my goal over the next, I can't remember, I think it was 90 days. It took me into September, was to work my way to 2 hours of meditation a day. That didn't mean that it had to look like 2 hours of like all in one clump. It could have been an hour in the morning or an hour and an hour in the evening. Hey, Jen. But I'm watching myself as I'm thinking about my goal and my declaration to you that was my goal, to meditate for 2 hours a day. And I have come into contact with, like, I met this woman and her coach. She was looking for a job, and her coach had wanted her to meditate for 5 minutes a day. And this woman was completely unable to do that. And hello, want to know who's watching live? Swipe left. Okay, I didn't know I could do that. We're all learning together. So Jennifer's watching with me. At any rate, sorry, we're all learning together. Isn't that great? So at any rate, so what I said to this woman was, well, maybe sitting in silence for 5 minutes just doesn't work for you. Have you considered like leaving your phone at home and taking a 5-minute walk and just doing that? Like, what would that be like to take a walk without your phone? I mean, that for a lot of people would be super hard. So at any rate, what I have noticed, this is flashing at me. You'll see viewers here. Oh, like, you guys, you got to come watch. At any rate, I digress. So I've been watching myself in my attempt to habituate 2 hours. And if you recall from the last installment, I took my space and I made it beautiful. I have a sacred space. I call it my sacred space and my creative art space. And I cleaned it up and made it wonderful, and it feels so good in there. I gave you a little tour, etc., etc. And yet it's super, super hard for me to be still for that long. I don't think I've broken 40 minutes. So I've always said I find doing dishes very meditative. It's just very relaxing. I don't necessarily have any music on, or and I'm just there. I'm present with that mundanity of the doing the dishes. I find taking a walk when it's not a gazillion degrees outside very nurturing and very meditative. I mentioned Qigong, I think, in episode 2, and Qigong to me is you just go like inward. It's so easy, right? So, hi, Kelly. And then there's somebody that just has a 1. At any rate, I was at Qigong class on Monday, and it's called Small Universe Meditation. And I'm not an expert, so I'm just going to try and describe it. So it's like you breathe in to a chakra or an area, and then when you breathe out, you're pushing it into a certain area of your body. And we're supposed to do that in loops, right? It's guided through 2 rotations, and then you're supposed to do it alone. And we weren't even done with the whole first revolution, if you will, and I was gone. I mean, I was just gone. I had to stop consciously doing that because I was so far out of my body. And so I just sat in that stillness of that knowing, that sensation, that yummy feeling, and allowed everything to happen around me. We were a small class, maybe half a dozen people. So I just allowed myself to breathe and to be in that space. And one of the things that I had thought about in this quest to find stillness within was, maybe sitting in, I'm good with stillness and I'm good with quiet. I prefer I prefer silence, but maybe sitting in silence with meditation just isn't like my thing for a long period of time. What about guided meditation? And then when this small universe Qigong meditation came in, I was like, well, this might be something that I want to do. So today's musing with you is really just about, just because it works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And just because it works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for me. We're all at a different place in our ability to handle that stillness. Our society is so noisy. It's so noisy. There's noise everywhere. If it's not audio noise, then it's you can't even go into a public restroom in a restaurant or the airport without advertising on the back side of the door. I mean, it's just, we're so bombarded. You want to get fuel the moment that thing trips, then you get blasted with more commercials. We're not accustomed to the silence anymore. And so my challenge for you is, what can you do to find that stillness within? It doesn't need to look like 2 hours a day to meditate. Maybe it's Qigong, maybe it's Tai Chi, maybe it's a yoga class, maybe it's just sitting in the middle of your living room, appreciating the beauty that you have in your home with your animals, with your family. I don't know. But what I'm learning since my last musing is that I'm really happy with my life, and I make time every day to honor that and to foster that. But it's not even looking at like an hour a day. So I'm kind of fessing up that at this juncture where I'm at, 2 hours is a long time. But I want to encourage you to explore. I mean, if you're not exploring, then you can't know. For all we know, that 2 hours is really easy for you, but you haven't even tried it. So what can you do in your everyday life to create that stillness within, to be comfortable with the silence of your own home? My fridge humming even bugs me. If I could just have silence, I am the happiest person. And it's not like I don't like music. It's just that I'm very okay with me. And I think that is the key, is to be okay with you so you can be in that stillness. It's when people who don't want to hear their inner thoughts, that's why everything is so much more exciting than being quiet. So that's my wisdom for today. I hope that you found value. Again, it's Marita with Harmonic Wholeness, and this particular thread of information or musings on meditation, I'm calling Inner Evolution, because it is an inner evolution that we're all on, and I'm wanting to highlight that. So have a great day, no matter where you are in the world or what time it is. I send you blessings. Bye-bye.